The round of 32 is here. Canada have already progressed last night against South Africa. They will play the winner of Netherlands-Morocco. What a game that should be. We also have Brazil-Japan today. That's coming up first. And then Germany-Paraguay. We're going to take a look at all of these games, analyze the form, any insights, data, and of course, make predictions. So without further ado, let's get into it. We start with the early games, 6 p.m. UK, and the odds tell one story, but reading the comments on yesterday's video where I predicted the rest of the tournament, a lot of people can see an upset in this game. A lot of people do not have faith in Brazil in their current form. Can they improve then to get past Japan? The bookies think they can. 1.67 is the best price. And could it be a repeat of the friendly that they played in October last year? Japan 2-0 down at half-time, and then they came back to score 3 goals in the second half. Both teams are unbeaten, of course, in the World Cup so far. 2 draws and a victory for Japan, and for Brazil, a draw against Morocco. No shame in that. And then 2 victories in games you would very well expect them to win. Neymar returned against Scotland, much to the annoyance of Carlo Ancelotti's son. Not sure if you saw that. Looked like he was shaking his head when Neymar was getting ready to come on. And now the pressure will be on Ancelotti to potentially start Neymar. I don't think he should. I think there's more deserving players. Ryan, for example, if Rafinha is still out, potentially he could be in this game, then Ryan is such a dangerous player and in peak physical form, whereas Neymar, not so much. Now we jump to the players tab because I think this may have gone under the radar. Vinícius Jr. in a competition where we've seen Haaland, Mbappe and Messi steal the spotlight, no doubt about that. Vinícius Jr. has scored in every group game, just like Mr. Messi. 4 goals for Brazil, and what's even better is his record under Carlo Ancelotti. 7 goals in 12 Brazilian games. Looking at some goals now, over 2.5 goals or BTTS has landed in 6 of the last 7 games played for Brazil, and they've been playing some decent teams in preparation for the World Cup. 2-1 against France, 3-1 against Croatia, 6-2 against Panama, 2-1 against Egypt, 1-1 against Morocco, and then of course the 3-0 results in the group stages. They can always score goals, Brazil, but so can Japan. And Brazil at right back. Keep an eye on the right back position for Brazil because they don't really have a natural right back at this moment in time. And we can see the scoring record of Japan. They've scored in every game since last September. And of course that includes the 3 that they put past Brazil in October. So we'll take a look at our tips section powered by OddAlerts AI, link in the description if you want to check this out, and all of the player rankings and team rankings as well, all absolutely free to check out. We have a value bet here, which is draw or Japan after 90 minutes, 2.22. It says Japan are unbeaten in 10 games and concede just 0.7 goals per game. Under 3.5 goals also being suggested, but as we can see, the odds just 1.32. And Japan to score, simply Japan to score 1.66. I like the look of that. I think Brazil have got enough to win this game. I think Brazil have got enough to win most games against most opponents, to be honest. It's just whether they can keep that clean sheet. Now I'm just checking out the football form guide for Brazil, and we can see they rank 2nd for fouls committed. They are an aggressive team, especially given the players they have in the middle of the pitch. Bruno Guimaraes, no stranger to a card. They rank 2nd as well for receiving 2 or more cards in their last 10 games. They've done it 7 times. We know about the incredible discipline that the Japanese have. They hardly get booked. So can Brazil get more cards in this game? Well, I'm going to go with them to pick up a single card in 90 minutes, as well as Brazil to qualify. I backed them on my round of 32 predictions video yesterday. You can go back and watch that if you want. We predict the whole tournament from all of these fixtures onwards to the final, and both teams to score. So this could be an open game potentially if Brazil go and get a few goals and Japan reply, or Japan could take it to extra time, but Brazil still qualify 1-1 full time potentially here. BTTS still lands. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. Remember, every comment is automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro, which includes some of the tools we've used on these videos and many, many more as well. And speaking of comments, well done to this user. You have won a month for this comment on yesterday's video. Fantastic prediction. And my score prediction for this one is, I was going to go 3-1, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Brazil. I think they'll get a late winner in this game. As I said in yesterday's video, I think Brazil will get better as the tournament goes on. Famous last words. Maybe underestimating Japan here, but I think Brazil have got a little bit more quality where it matters in this game. Now on to Germany against Paraguay. So Germany against Paraguay is the 9:30 kickoff, and we're going to take a look first at our probability model here. It is giving Germany a 65.7% chance of winning this game after 90 minutes, of course. For Paraguay, 13.1%. We can sort by the most likely outcomes, and we see over 0.5 goals, of course. For Paraguay to score less than 2 goals as well is also up there, under 4.5 goals. Interesting, because as we look at Paraguay's results here, especially in qualifying for this, they don't concede many goals, really. We can see 2 clean sheets in their last couple of World Cup games. And then when we look at the qualifying, they had 3 clean sheets in the last 4 games as well. Fair enough, they've conceded to Brazil, Colombia, Argentina. Bolivia away is a tricky place to go. But if we actually look at the results here, they didn't lose many games in qualifying, which is pretty impressive, to be honest, especially away at Bolivia. That is a tricky place to go. Away at Colombia as well. They beat Uruguay, which, as we've now seen, is probably not as good as it was first thought of when they did it. They beat Brazil in qualifying and they drew with Ecuador, so they will not be underestimated. They've got a win against Argentina in there as well. But as you would expect, the odds are heavily stacked in Germany's favour. They are expected to win this game. Germany lost in the final group game. They did rest players after scoring 9 goals in the opening 2 games, and that actually ended a run of 11 straight victories. Which is pretty impressive. Of course, some of them in qualifying and then some in international friendlies where they beat Switzerland, Ghana, Finland, the United States, and then of course the goal scoring continued into the World Cup. Germany are expected to revert to the front three that includes Havertz, of course, Wirtz and Musiala. Undav will remain an impact sub, and what an impact sub he is. And for Paraguay, Diego Gomez is suspended, their primary set-piece taker, of course. Almiron is back from suspension. Not sure how much of an impact he can have on games at this age. He, of course, got sent off for covering his mouth, which I think is pathetic. Now, I want to ask you something here in the comments. How many goals will we see in this game? Because if we look at Germany, we can see there's definitely a trend, if we include those friendlies, for goals. Over 2.5 goals, as we're looking at here, has landed in the last 8 games. But if we look at Paraguay, it's the opposite, really. The last 7 games has only seen 1 end that way, and it was that opening game where they were 3-0 down at half-time. I think we can also, by looking at the results, assume they have reverted and got over that initial shock. Or maybe they've tweaked something, they've gone back to playing the way that we know they can from their qualifying results. So I think maybe a lot of people will be looking at that United States result and just think that Paraguay are going to get battered here. But if they can show the kind of form and resilience and stubbornness that they did in qualifying against decent opposition, no doubt about that. The qualifying in South America is a much better gauge of a team, I feel, than the European qualifying or the Asian qualifying, even worse, really. The teams that, you know, Japan and the likes have to play. So Paraguay, I think, will not get rolled over in this game. Let me know what you think in the comments. And again, just taking a look at the football form guide link in the description, we can see there has been at least 1 second half goal in 9 of Germany's last 10 games that they've played. And Germany have actually scored 2 or more second half goals in 6 of the last 10 games. And when looking at Paraguay's data again across the last 10, we can see they have been the team with the most cards in 7 of their last 10 games. They rank second for yellow cards received across all World Cup teams, 21 in the last 10 games. So my selection for this one is most goals to be seen in the second half. I'd be interested to see if we placed this selection on every game, because it's evens usually all the time. Most goals to be scored in the second half. If you placed it on every single knockout game, what would your profit be at the end of the tournament? I would be shocked if it wasn't profitable, because in these knockout games, we saw it in the England game as well, in the final group game. They will follow a similar pattern, I think. Nobody wants to make a mistake in these games, and that becomes even greater the deeper you go into the tournament, of course. So I think Germany will get through, of course. I think Paraguay will be stubborn and defend well as they can. I think they will try and learn from the mistakes, and it looks like they already have from that opening game in the USA. And Paraguay, whilst receiving this intense German pressure to pick up more than one card, as they have in the majority of their recent games. What would you change from this? What would you add? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Let me know in the comments. Next up, game of the day for many of you, Netherlands against Morocco. Now then, I'm really interested to hear what you think about this game. I think it's quite difficult to call. I did back the Netherlands to go through in yesterday's video where we predicted the whole bracket. Feel free to check that out after you've watched this one. And I did that because I think they've got more goal scoring capabilities than Morocco. But as we've seen on this channel when we've looked at Morocco, their defense is elite. There are a few teams in this competition, Ecuador, England, Morocco, Argentina, who really do know what they're doing when it comes to defending, and Morocco is one of those teams, no doubt. That said, our tips section is looking at over 1.5 goals. It gives it a 70% rating. Netherlands have gone over 1.5 goals in 9 of their 10. They, of course, put 5 past Sweden. Morocco, 8 out of 10. A lot of Morocco's games just went over 1.5 goals, even the game against Brazil, of course. Morocco simply to score at 1.55. They face a Netherlands team with only 2 clean sheets in their last 10, and there is only a 1-place gap between them in the FIFA World Rankings, 7th against 8th. Morocco should create chances. So goals do follow the Netherlands. We can see here there has been a first half goal in 9 of their last 10 and a second half goal in every single game. They've scored 2 or more in the first half in 50%, and they've actually had 3 or more corners in every one of those last 10 games. So they are starting games strongly, or at least aiming to, given the corner count. They've not conceded first in any of those games. That is quite impressive given the volume of goals in their games. They've scored in every game. They are unbeaten. The Netherlands are looking pretty good at this moment in time. They've won more corners than their opponent in 9 of their last 10 games. Could corners be a play in this one? They're averaging 6.6 shots on target per 90 minutes. Let's take a look now at their opponents today, Morocco. Morocco's opponents have been booked in every one of those games that we're looking at, 10 out of 10. There have been 2 or more cards in 10 out of 10 as well. Morocco's opponents have been booked 20 times in the second half of games, so 2 cards on average in the second half for Morocco's opponents, and that puts them first. Interestingly here though, Morocco are top for fouls committed. They are committing quite a few fouls, well, more than any other team, 201 in the last 10 games. And they are a very well set up team. They have not been losing at half-time in any of these games. I do quite like the look, as we had for England the other night. The odds are always good for it. Draw at half-time and then whatever at full-time, undecided really. Is it going to be Netherlands or Morocco? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And just a bit more confirmation on cards here. In terms of total second half cards, 29, which puts them third. Total yellow cards, 44 in the last 10 games. That puts them third as well. And Morocco have conceded just 0.5 goals across their last 10. They are very well experienced at tournament football. They got to the final of AFCON, of course. They won it, I think, sort of. They share it. Senegal and Morocco have got half of the trophy each. I still don't know who to say actually won AFCON, which is a bit of a shambles, to be honest. So with this prediction, I'm being a bit more expansive at 4s, a few more options here because the odds were not great, especially for cards and corners. The bookies are expecting them, given the data and given what this game means to a lot of people in both of these countries. There is a big heritage angle to this game, of course. Netherlands to have over 4 corners, that is doing the heavy lifting at about 1.75. And then I've gone with both teams to be booked in the second half. That is just a complicated way of doing that. And then over 1 goal in the game itself. I said on yesterday's video, I think that this one could potentially go to extra time. I still think that could be the case. I feel like this could be another score draw that goes to extra time, but I would be backing the Netherlands to progress given their goal scoring ability versus that of Morocco. My score prediction for this game is 2-1 to the Netherlands. And I didn't add a score prediction, I don't think, for the Germany game. I always forget to do it. So 2-0 to Germany is my scoreline for that game. So I will leave you with a look at tomorrow's games: Ivory Coast against Norway, France against Sweden, and Mexico against Ecuador. It is another fantastic card indeed. If you're enjoying these videos, please do hit like and subscribe. It really helps because at the moment, YouTube is restricting these videos and the reach for some reason. They are not appearing in search at all as they did at the start of the tournament. So that's a bit of a bummer, a bit of a downer, but we will get through and we will not stop posting these videos. So please do show your appreciation, share them with your friends if you can, if you've got a moment, and I'll see you tomorrow again, 7 AM sharp.